needs you to make real my creativity. Your sweat nourishes my creation as I milk your labor to polish my David. Your gnawing stomach I feed with ideas, pickle your brains, numb your senses, doped in my fantasy. It's difficult now to reel back to the real world. On entering, you beg me to satiate your sweet tooth. Let me now stuff you slice by slice, choke you with my cake. My godly wrath has you in a make-believe stupor. You'd perish, if not for the meager alms I distribute. I have trained you in what's crap and what's cool, made you a lesser human, stripped your right to expression. But how can you walk out, darling? How can you? Where will you go? I say, each evening I want to see the light of the evening sun. Smell the mud in the air when it rains untimely. I'd like to have a few hours of my life to myself, thanks. I don't want you to suck out my nectar queen bee. I respect my insanity more than your profanity. Resonate with so many. They kind of also have a little context as to where this is coming out from. But we do have a lot of bosses who don't allow people to come out in time, and then that's the only lifestyle you're leading if you're working with them. This next session, I have a couple of them. It's written on everyday observations. This is called centrifugality. This happened when I tried grinding steaming hot tomato pulp in a mixer. Juice sinks in through resilient jute. Pulp stains a now undulated wallet. Refrigerated red spotted on the wall. Mashed medals collected painstakingly to be discarded. Eyelids open cautiously. Reveal a split-second catch escaped from the jaws of a crushing monster, a flying tomato seed. This one was written for my mom and my daughter. So Bangalore weather, I think post-November, everybody starts having that little inhaler in the house where, and that's what is generally used for children to kind of decongest their noses. And I kind of given up one day. I was like, it's okay, she can have a cold, but my mother didn't. It was on that. It's called a vaporous escapade. A cylindrical, translucent being gurgles and breathes out incessantly steamy wisps through a tiny square mouth. An aggressively determined party, aided with bolsters and her lap, attempts to negotiate heights to a minuscule pair of nostrils. Evading her nonchalant daughter, she beckons her final allies, a tail-bearing extension cord and a make-do cotton sheet, and battles, huddled, immobile, inside a protective shield to melt the stubborn insides of a dozing, snoring baby on a hot summer morning. This was written almost 10 years back. We had a competition where the number of characters were counted, and this was under 150 characters. This used to be a part of the Kalagoda festival, and they would float out these competitions. And this was written as the theme was memories. It was written on a thing that I would do as a kid. I would love to put my hands into those jute bags which would be kept in the kirana dukans for rice grains and wheat. And I would love to put my hand in, and I would always get yelled at for it. A peck on fingertips plunges me into golden seas. Stealthy spill beyond meager jute, wrenches, woodwind. Childhood earnings, Kaka shouts, his groceries drawn. This was a time when I would write very short poems. It would hardly be like minimum words, but then I wanted to communicate a lot through them. This was written for someone I kind of was in awe of. I went through this whole phase. I think everybody in their 20s goes through this whole one-sided awe business where you generally walk around and you're so awed with people, you don't know how to communicate it, and you have this whole mental image about them, and you don't. It never reaches reality. It's called The Deficient Raptor. She watches him every move, sucks in his atmosphere. She fakes petty unconcern, listless, restless, encircling the prey, spinning her web. He sees all, walks away. Still faking it, she retreats, smudging the smug, hibernating until the next one lands. This one is written for my best friend, Lavina. She's kind of been one of the support systems that I have in life. We'd been to Alibag and we had a good time at the beach, and it was just a momentary thing that I kind of felt like expressing. It's called Terrace Tales at Alibag. Brackish hair on mosaic tiles, warm from a day's reflections. Below, a persistent fan whirs inside our heads. Between my sleepy stargazings and whispers, she climaxes with reassuring snores. For the moment, I love her. That's what happens with best friends. Like, you're trying to tell them something so important, and you think that your life depends on it. She just snored in the moment. She's like, I don't care what you're doing. That was the kind of level of comfort that we shared. Still with me? Should I kind of take a break or? No. It's fine. Alright. Okay. The next two of my poems. I'll probably put them under the category of Ahmedabad. They were written in Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad to me was, I interned at Ahmedabad. I met Arjun in Ahmedabad. So a lot of memories stuck in Ahmedabad. It was newfound freedom. I was out of home for the first time. I was exploring a new city. I was falling in love and just beginning to stand up alone. So this was written back then. It's called "This Is Not a Season of the Expected." Those aerodynamic seconds when Tarzan catapults between climbers through wild greens, a nose sprouted on my scalp steers my body into wheels of motion. As the doormat whisked from under flutters into a maze of color then, of frolic and temporariness. A stillborn time, hiccuping between past and present. Memory smeared by nights alone, a collective paranormal existence where the makeshift seems hyperreal. Lights, they jump off the street lamps, knifing through parallel ripples of the Sabarmati. Those twisted, blazing, glistening streamers. Rabbits and dragons of the moon chased away by forest fires to welcome a grandma underneath a banyan tree. Silhouette rising, splashed against the skies, a frame between the North Pole and the Orion. I should have probably told you this before the poem, but this was kind of written for countless evenings where we would wander in groups and just lie down on the banks of the Sabarmati or be on one of the bridges There are 5 bridges in Ahmedabad from which the Sabarmati is seen. So that is the setup in which this was written. And we spent countless number of, not days, but yeah, evenings and nights in that kind of a setup. And it was lovely. It was freedom, it was being with friends, falling in love. So this kind of represents that too. Then this is dedicated specifically to Arjun. Written in 2010 when I was just discovering him. To my white-eyed trampoline. White, you diluted my red into skin that doesn't fit, squirms. Trampoline, reflected projectile in your eye. I from you. Stop backgrounding, walking, devour me. I will fight you, survive, emerge to coexist. This was again, since I just started my Arjun chapter, I'll do one more. This is a little more recent, and this is probably a phase where we've still had now we've had differences, and he believes in something and I believe in something. So this was written after one such conversation that I had with him. It's called Let's Not Talk. I don't want to sound complicated. I don't want to string words that compound each other's meanings. In a sentence so long, we forget what was wished to be said. But I want to talk. Reach out and tell you of the thrills, fears, feelings that exist in me and in the world I experience. But no words, please. I want to learn and share what I learn, so I facilitate that explosion in you, relive that explosion within me, when knowledge baffles, amazes, belittles, and supports. But let's do this without words. Can we sit side by side, watch, feel, talk without words? I feel like I should give you guys a break, and I've just been like on and on.
It barely done like 10 minutes.
That's all. Okay. All right. Okay. Fine. I'll probably go on then. Anybody feeling bored? I'll probably.
No.
Whatever. Yeah.
Okay. If you want a break.
No, I'm fine.
Okay, maybe in another 2 poems you can take.
Okay. This session is the uncomfortable one. Till now, I felt very comfortable about whatever I was narrating. This is everything in the world that makes me feel uncomfortable, and I'm angered about. This was written on, I call it Not the World I Wanted, and this particular one, the poem that I'm going to read out right now, was written on a very particular incident that happened to me recently in the place that I work. On having entered a room. On most days, I witness seesaws of alternating identities as we hiccup through planned exchanges and spontaneous spurts, engaging in our own little play, trying to sit still, weightless in the center, as if we do not matter. Today is different somehow. Cracks laden with seeped pretension threaten collapse. Realignments of agreed upon definitions for the space as the sanctity of boundaries between relations that changed behind closed doors is dragged into the public eye. With blaring earphones and eyes shut, I no longer exist in this room. Now I am a cat that waits to jump out of balance, to find myself, to make me whole, to become manifold times. Again, this is another thing that angers me, and this is not even uneasiness. It's written out of anger. It's the most recent thing that I kind of completed. It's a work in progress. It's called palimpsest. It's for a sequel. Palimpsest. It would be something that is layered, then you put one on top of the other and still exists. I witnessed a child wronged inside a temple and vowed I wouldn't enter one. Its sanctity polluted for me to a point of no return. The horror that child must have gone through conflicted hard and battered my image of a temple. Of stone walls dimly lit, of facing light, bowing down, eyes shut, keep in and not keep out. Silences where voices are heard, assuring you that you are safe. I shut down, impotent, helpless, hugged my young child and cried each night. I cursed myself for having brought her into this messy cocoon, laced with pervading, engulfing, nightmarish possibilities. I lived and quietened a million what ifs. I wanted to forget that face. I wanted to unsee and unremember everything. Recently, I took my child with her grandparents to a temple. It didn't feel traumatic. Enough time had passed, enough for a mute observer on Facebook pages, not having to clean up and deal with the mess later, not getting daily reminders of horrors from the past. A new patch stitched over old cloth as fresh memories cover older ones into gentle oblivion. Accepting, not negating, not normalizing, only very selfishly finding my peace. Probably a little hopeful. I'll try to venture into something slightly more hopeful. This happened again 2 years back. I am right now, this is the most recent one that I finished, and I think I'm kind of going down in a spiral where I'm giving up hope on too many things that's happening around. But yeah, to kind of balance that out, this one was written in 2017, where I still kind of found my balance. It's called Come Now. It's about a society right